graduates equals more soldiers. The Army opens a new prep school. Welcome to Army Newswatch. I'm Sergeant First Class Randy Randolph. We'll have that story and more, but first, here's a look at what's going on around the Army. It has finally come out of the closet. The new Army service uniform is ready and promises to reflect simplicity, quality, and tradition.
As this uniform becomes our service uniform, we wanted to recognize all those past traditions.
And don't feel blue about getting out of your greens. The Army's plan to move you from the green to blue service uniform won't cost you a cent.
Every enlisted soldier receives $50 in their annual allowance towards the purchase of their Army service uniform, because we would never want to disadvantage a soldier or their family, by transitioning to a new uniform.
The Army service uniform will be an initial entry item at the end of fiscal year 2010. Be smart. Do your part. Vote. Elections are around the corner, and military leaders are making sure that every soldier has the opportunity to speak up.
Very, very important that we give each soldier, each civilian, each family member, each contractor serving with us the information on where to go and get information about the voting process as it relates to their particular local voting office. And that's very key in this process, is to ensure that they register to vote early, request an absentee ballot, and that they get that ballot back into their local voting offices as early as possible.
The Federal Voting Assistance Program, or FVAP, helps service members and their families begin the voting process. To find out what you need to do to cast your ballot, check out their website at fvap.gov/index.mil. For the past 25 years, the Army Family Action Plan has been changing legislation and Army policies to improve quality of life for Army families. AFAP has helped improve child care, education benefits, and wounded warrior care.
Because when you're downrange and you're looking down a rifle sight, if you're turning around looking behind you because you're worried about your hooch or your chow or your kids or your wife, you're not targeting, you're targeted. That's why we take care of Army families.
They took a shot at gold in Beijing and won. The U.S. Olympic shooting team turned an outstanding performance at the 2008 Olympic Games, bringing home 6 medals, 2 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze, and set a total of 5 new Olympic records. 2 soldiers on the team earned top honors in their respective events. 3-time Olympian and U.S. Army Marksmanship Unit member Specialist Glenn Eller claimed his first Olympic medal, earning the gold in men's double trap. Fellow USAMU member Private First Class Vincent Hancock took the gold in men's ski. Another celebrity got to fly high with the Golden Knights.
I am as ready as I'm ever going to be.
This was Bill Murray at 13,500 feet. Kicking off the 50th Chicago Air and Water Show, the comedian and his jump master had a chance to goof off before heading out of that perfectly good airplane.
The line's going up. Well, we just got engaged.
You guys look very close.
Yeah. I guess at 13,000 feet, this is serious.
This is Murray's first time working with the Army since his movie Stripes, where he played John Winger, a guy who joined the Army just for fun.
That was really fun. That was really fun. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, it's time to give a big Army hoo-ah to the stations that bring Army Newswatch to you, and especially to Kenosha Community Media, serving Kenosha, Wisconsin through TV 14 and RC6, and Rolla, Missouri's Community Education and Government channel. Thanks for watching. Don't go away. Indiana Guard troops look to the sky to protect their convoys on the ground. Plus, moving mounds of dirt in Folsom. We'll see what the Corps is digging up in California. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Today's adventure takes us to a site where a 150-ton chain blockaded the Hudson River during the American Revolution. Do you know where we are? Graduates of this institution's engineering program were responsible for building many of the country's early railways, roads, bridges, and harbors. Some of the famous people associated with this place include Robert E. Lee, Douglas MacArthur, and Norman Schwarzkopf. I'll be back with the answer in a moment.
Hello, I'm Sergeant First Class Mushala. Your vote is important because your voice can only be heard if you take action. Let your voice be heard by casting your vote. It makes a difference. Remember, wherever you are, it's not too late to vote. If you have questions, see your voting assistance officer. Be smart. Do your part. Vote.
Did you figure it out? It's the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York. The United States Military Academy at West Point is the oldest continuously occupied military installation in the nation. Remnants of the great chain used to prevent British ships from sailing up the Hudson River during the Revolutionary War are displayed at Trophy Point. That wraps up this trip. See you next time for another adventure.
Welcome back. The Indiana-based 152nd Battalion is deployed to Iraq with the 76th Brigade Combat Team. As they provide convoy security throughout the theater, these Guard soldiers also serve as an eye in the sky for troops on the ground. Photojournalist Sergeant Aaron Strader caught up with them as they flew the Raven unmanned aerial vehicle on a recon mission.
Today we went on a mounted reconnaissance patrol. We call them MRPs.
First we have to assemble the aircraft. It's got 3 pieces that make up one solid wing, fuselage, a camera, and a tail section. The second operator is setting up the ground unit. That is what actually controls everything. It stores all our information. It relays from the aircraft to us so that we can track and we can see what the aircraft's seeing.
Clear prop. They are an opportunity for us to get out and get some aerial surveillance. A UAV is an unmanned aerial vehicle. There are many different types of them. We use the Raven. It's a great asset for the battlefield. It's lightweight.
Is that it right there? All right, look to the left. See that berm?
With this, we can get eyes on the routes that convoys take ahead of time, so that way if there is anything out there, we can get warnings out to them before they get there.
Tracking satellites.
I think it's absolutely great that the National Guard is doing things like this. One, it shows the rest of the world that, you know, just because we're National Guard, we can't have these responsibilities, and we do make a difference. I mean, all it takes is to help save one life or one possible explosion for it to all be good, and I'm glad to be a part of that.
With the dramatic increase of young Americans who want to join the service but can't because of an incomplete education, the Army has stepped up and opened a preparatory school. Gail McKay reports from Fort Jackson.
Don't blow this test.
First Sergeant Bobby Tucker wasn't sure about the Army Preparatory School. He thought it could be a mistake. A 19-year Army veteran, Tucker says he's taken a closer look and he's changed his mind.
Everybody's first impression is the Army's lowering its standards, and then after you get smart on it, we actually raise the standard.
Standards is what the Army Prep School is all about, educational standards.
I'm taking my test tomorrow.
Jerry Dean McGee dropped out of high school because he was bored. Now the 23-year-old Mississippi native dreams of being a Black Hawk mechanic. His first step in accomplishing his vision is getting his General Educational Development, or GED.
A little challenging. I've been out of school for a while.
As recruits, they are physically, medically, and morally sound, but they are all dropouts, and they all want to be soldiers.
More than 1 million high school students drop out of school every year, and according to recently published public reports, that number is expected to increase substantially by the year 2020.
We'll find out where you need the help.
For the Army, it's a wake-up call.
And we're giving them an opportunity. If they are unable to be taught here in this environment, then they are chaptered out of the Army and they will not join the Army.
That would be a big disappointment.
Cody Michael Malik wants more out of life.
I seen it as a good adventure and a good way to experience a little more than I had living in Indiana.
GED testing covers 5 basic areas, from reading and writing to math and science. To get here, they had to score in the top 50% on the Army's initial aptitude test.
This program is helping to educate Americans who otherwise may have given up.
Like 20-year-old Austin Swarner from Baton Rouge.
My mom was sick and with cancer, and I dropped out of school to take care of her.
He was 13 at the time. Now at age 20, he aspires to be a combat engineer.
It's not really hard if you just apply yourself.
And while it's still a pilot program, some 3,000 new soldiers are expected to apply themselves at the Army's preparatory school this year.
The Army and my career will take care of it.
Gail McKay, Fort Jackson.
The way that's written, that's
Another milestone for the Army is the 25th anniversary of the Army Family Action Plan. The program has helped improve the quality of life for soldiers and their families, from child care to better housing.
This is a halibut I brought back from Alaska last week.
Command Sergeant Major Freddie Brock loves nothing more than to spend his time relaxing at home with his family.
We don't go out much because we just like being around one another. We find activities around the house to do and enjoy ourselves. Or the children go right across the street to the playground.
With 26 years in the Army, Brock has spent much of his life in military housing. He's impressed with how much it's improved, now that he calls this single-family, 4-bedroom house on Fort Belvoir, Virginia, home.
So I've seen the housing, and it looks like where you took a matchbox and you just cordoned it off until what we live in right now. My mother came up here. My dad's retired. My mother came up here when we first moved in. She couldn't believe the house that we lived in. It's magnificent.
Extra storage space. This little door opens up, and that storage goes all
Bigger closets and rooms convinced Jennifer Brock to stay with Army housing. With a slump in the market, she finds this option more affordable.
A lot for what we pay. It's extremely comparable, probably better than what we would find off post for the amount of money that we would pay.
She credits the Army with making quality housing a priority for families.
Army Family Action Plan is the voice of the residents here and the soldiers and the families.
From 4 walls to 4 rooms, the Brocks have lived in some tough places on posts in the past. But now, they're turning military housing into a home.
Off to Arlington.
Sergeant First Class Randy Randolph, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Still to come, we'll head to a summer camp that's just for kids of deployed troops. More of the stories that make America's Army are up next.
This is fine. Thanks.
Adopt a child from foster care. Just being there makes all the difference.
This is the story about a group of kids who volunteered.
Do something nice for someone.
We fixed stuff.
Did some art projects with the kids.
Cleaned up the park.
Did something for the planet.
And you know what? It was great.
At first, they didn't know each other.
Well, that didn't last long. These are my new friends.
Are you into it?
Call 4-H or check out our website at areyouintoit.com.
Welcome back. It's a place where they can relax and just be kids. A special summer program helps military kids dealing with deployments cast away their worries for a week of fun. Jeannie Ryan takes us to Operation Purple Camp.
We're opening up camp for 1 full week for boys and girls who have parents that are deployed or going to be deployed, to be able to come to a camp, get away from home, kind of a retreat away from home, all their worries at home, basically come and have a lot of fun at camp, participating in all different types of activities. We have a wide variety of activities. Whoa. We have horseback riding, outdoor living, outdoor cooking, archery, canoeing, trapeze program, which is an awesome program you need to check out. Actually gets through a lot of fears for the kids. The kids really enjoy it. And many times we can lead the kids into some type of a discussion talking about dealing with fears and handling fears and getting through fears and problems. So using these activities sometimes gets the kids into a good discussion about things. really hoping for them to be able to figure out, understand that what they're going through, they're not going through alone. They're able to meet other kids that are in the exact same situation that they're in, as we actually get into some actual discussion on how to communicate. We actually have a mental health consultant that's here this week that will be running a session on that.
Hang ready.
I just love being able to see kids have fun, enjoy what they're doing, not worry about the things at home. And I just get to run around with a bunch of kids and have fun, so it's good stuff. It's a free program if you're accepted into it. The acceptance is very easy. Your husband or your spouse is deployed, and then you can allow your kid to come. Or even if you're deployed or you're going to be deployed or you're an active member of the military, you have the opportunity and the option to be able to send your kid to camp for a week throughout the summer.
Operation Purple set up more than 60 camps around the country so that more military kids can take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime experience. And joining us now for a different perspective on the camps is Corey Autumn-Filio.
Jeannie, I am so extremely jealous of every kid here. The campers here have a wonderful experience, meeting, sharing stories, and enjoying time with other Army kids.
I want you to put your fingers underneath this pole.
What are your favorite things to do here?
Cooking.
Chicken and dumplings.
The horses. Yeah, the horses definitely. They're a lot of fun to hang out with.
Do they get deployed one at a time usually, or have they both gotten deployed at the same time?
There's been certain instances, not like them getting deployed together, but like one will get deployed and one will go to another Army base for a short period of time.
Were you ever worried about your parents when they were gone?
He had to change his come back home day 6 times.
That must be hard, because every time you try and wait for him to come home, it always changes.
I know. We're happy and then we're angry.
Is it helpful now that you come to Operation Purple Camp that you see other people that are going through the same things that you are?
Yeah.
Do you guys discuss it at all?
We do.
Yeah, we talk, we compare things, we sympathize with people, you know. To be an Army kid, you have to understand how to make sacrifices, how to overcome situations, how to face your fears, how to have courage and stuff like that. You have to know that no matter what happens, it was meant to be, and it'll all be all right eventually.
All soldiers feel depressed at one time or another, and some may have even thought about taking their own lives. But when those feelings persist, that's when you need help. September is Army Suicide Prevention Month, and our medical editor, Dr. Paul Little, says it's never been easier to get the confidential help you need.
The numbers of suicides have continued to go up.
What we do know from interviews with survivors of suicide, failed attempts at suicide, is that in most cases, someone else was aware of the disruption, the emotional turbulence that was going on in that person's life.
We are doing a lot to counteract the suicides, but it's clear that we need to do more.
It's just as important if your battle buddy was injured on the battlefield. I know you would take care of him there. For you to look for those emotional wounds, for those spiritual wounds, for those mental wounds, and be there and take care of your buddy.
It's a little tip card. It says Ask, Care, Escort, ACE. And what we're focusing on there is basic steps for a soldier to do. Ask, are you okay? Take care of your buddy. And then if you're worried, don't leave your buddy alone, but escort your buddy to the chaplain, to behavioral health, to the commander, to an NCO, somewhere to get the soldier taken care of, to make sure that soldier doesn't impulsively do something bad. SHPM, Center for Health Promotion and Preventive Medicine, has put out a number of training materials that leaders can download and adapt with vignettes to their own use. And you go through a few of the vignettes and practice again asking and talking and thinking about what are you going to do if you're concerned about a fellow soldier.
It's the largest recreation area in the state of California and has enough concrete to build a sidewalk from San Francisco to New York. Mary Cochran has the inside scoop on this Corps of Engineers project.
It's the 7th strongest economy in the world, and the state capital is just 25 miles from the largest lake in the state.
Sacramento is currently among the major metropolitan areas in the entire United States, is among the most at risk for catastrophic flooding.
Flooding that would threaten 500 million people. The Folsom Dam Modification Project will reduce that flood risk.
One of the major engineering challenges in constructing this project is how do you move a massive amount of water, we're talking 300,000 plus cubic feet per second, how do you do that while maintaining the integrity of the structure?
An auxiliary spillway is the answer, and the Corps of Engineers is doing some heavy lifting to make it happen.
Over here you have the main dam structure, and the auxiliary spillway is going to be running right along beneath it, and is going to supplement the flow capability of that dam.
Flow that will protect property and lives in California's capital. Mary Cochran, Folsom, California.
Coming up, lose a leg or lose life on the ice. It wasn't a tough choice for one wounded soldier.
You wouldn't treat a crash test dummy like a child. So why treat a child like a crash test dummy? If they're under 4'9", they need a booster seat. Learn more at boosterseat.gov.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. It takes a man to be a dad.
Welcome back. Each year, more and more programs become available for service members recovering from war. Project Healing Waters is one of them. And in a small Pennsylvania town, nature's calm was welcomed by soldiers on a fishing trip for the soul. Dave Anarino was there.
We're the only ones that really understand the hardships we've seen, the trouble we've been through, and the difficulty of experiencing war.
Yeah, I broke my neck and back. I had a hatch fall on my head. It just came down.
Most of the guys that are here today are Iraq or Afghanistan vets.
I can come from this side here now.
You know, I've been through it. I've been through the hard times, the depression, the anger.
This is not working for me today.
My frustration.
It's like I can't get a full cast or anything.
There! He had it. Oh no!
These fish must be on diet.
This fly is not working.
It's not going too great so far, but I have high hopes and I'm dedicated, so I'm going to be here all night.
Okay, well. It's just something about being out here on a stream like this that is really calming and soothing. It allows them to forget about their problems and worries, you know?
I
don't know how many Vietnam guys come up to us and say that, you know, I wish we'd have had something like this going on when we came back.
Hey, fishy!
It allows them to forget about their problems and worries, you know? Yeah, I was in a pretty dark place there for about a year.
Here, I'll get it.
Good thing he has patience, you know. He hasn't thrown me in the water yet. I think it's because she's here. He's being nice to me. The injury definitely put strain on the relationship.
How you doing?
Yeah, and having fun. I'm lucky to have her, and you know we've been blessed. You got to hold this.
Okay.
Now it's gonna get dangerous. It's more than just fishing.
That's a dandy.
Congratulations.
About a year and a half ago, I was at Walter Reed. I've come a long ways, and I'm doing pretty good now. very healing thing, being able to get back and doing some normal things in life, you know.
The road's going good now.
From the front lines to center ice, one wounded soldier trades his leg for a hockey stick and the chance to keep facing off on the ice. Specialist Ashley Torres headed to the rink for this story.
Said if I had it amputated, I could do anything that I used to do before. And my love was for hockey. So they amputated April 26th of '04. I got back out on the ice about a year and a half later. Get out there and play, trying to get my skills bettered so that hopefully I could make the U.S. amputee hockey team. I tried out last year, and after the season was over, I heard other soldiers that were wounded after I was, they were trying to get a hockey team together, and they asked if I would join in and help out with it, the coaching staff, and I said, sure, I'd love to. That's what we're doing now. We got guys that are bilaterals, which means both legs are cut off. They're out there doing the sled hockey. And then we have guys that have amputations, guys that from blast where they're nerve damaging muscles, getting them out there, and it's like physical therapy too.
1, 2, 3.
You don't think about when you have to adjust, transfer your weight from your good leg to your bad leg. You know, you got your head in the game, and you're trying to just do the best that you can.
Oh, I missed it.
You'll exert yourself a little bit more. Plus, you're out here with other guys that are wounded, and the ones that are going to be the hardest on you are the other wounded guys. You know, I'm gonna dog him if he's he's not skating the way he should.
Bend your knees a little bit. You lean forward like you're in a chair.
We're all there to support each other. It's almost like a therapy group, you know, because we're all here. We all have the love for the game, and it doesn't matter what level we are. You know, we help each other out. To me, it's the best therapy going because I'm out here with guys that's just like me.
If you want to help these wounded warriors stay on the ice, contact them at info@usawarriorshockey.org. They need donations for equipment and rink time. That does it for this edition of Army Newswatch. Join us again next time for the stories that make America's Army.